Welcome back to the Bad Influence podcast, where we don't want you to shrink, we want you to be yourself. I am the bad influence that you need in your life, Bjordan Banderas. And let me ask you something. How often do you walk into a room and immediately feel like you have to adjust who you are just to fit in? It's that feeling of needing to shrink, change, or play a role just to make sure you're accepted. It happens at work, with friends, and even around family. And let's be real, it's exhausting. We live in a world where social expectations can be overwhelming. We're constantly being told how to dress, how to talk, how to behave, and what's acceptable. But here's the problem. Trying to meet everyone else's expectations can cause you to lose sight of your own identity. You forget who you are because you're too busy trying to be who everyone else wants you to be, right? So by the end of this episode, I want you to walk away with practical strategies to navigate social expectations without losing yourself. We're going to break down how you can read the room, still be true to yourself, and thrive in any environment, whether it's at work, with your in-laws, or out with friends. It doesn't matter where it is. You can all do this. Now, here's the problem that I have been observing for a while. Most of you are people pleasers without even realizing it. You want to be liked, you want to fit in, and you want to avoid conflict. So, what do? You change yourself to fit the expectations of the people around you. And this can go on for years without you even noticing it. But after a while, you start feeling tired, anxious, and even resentful. You're constantly playing a role, wearing a mask, and it drains you. You lose the ability to relax and just be yourself because you've been playing this part for so long. And eventually, you start feeling lost, unsure of who you really are. Whether you're at work trying to fit into a corporate culture that doesn't feel right, or you're out with friends pretending to enjoy things you don't, the constant need to fit in takes a toll on you. The truth is, you don't have to meet everyone's expectations to thrive. No, you don't. In fact, once you start being yourself in any environment, everything gets fucking easier. I can attest to that. And I'll be honest with you, I've been there. For years, I tried to tone myself down. I was loud, expressive, and passionate, but when I moved to the States, I started changing. I wanted to fit in, so I suppressed a lot of who I was. I stopped being so expressive. I tried to be more reserved, and guess what? It didn't work. I felt like I was losing myself. Every time I adjusted my personality to meet someone else's expectations, I felt a little more disconnected. It wasn't until I started working with more Mexicans a few years ago at a new job that I realized how much of myself I had buried. It was a lot. I remember what it felt like to just be me, loud, funny, and unapologetic. At first, I worried about how people would take me. Oh yeah, it was scary. But the moment I let go and started being myself, everything changed. A lot of things changed in my life. I connected with people on a deeper level. I realized that the right people will accept you for who you are, and the ones who don't, well, they're not your people. No, they're not. And that's what I want to help you do. Show up as yourself no matter the environment. Because once you do that, navigating social expectations becomes a lot easier. You stop caring about meeting everyone's standards and start creating your own. So, let's get real for a second here. Society places a lot of pressure on us. Actually, a ton of pressure on us, don't you think? Whether it's at work, in our social circles, or even with family, there are unwritten rules about how we should behave, right? There's so many rules. You have to sit in a certain way. You have to be quiet. You can't be loud. You can't cuss. You can't be funny. You can't do this. There's so many. And let's be honest, a lot of those rules are bullshit. Don't you think? We're told to be polite, but not too bold. We're expected to be ambitious, but not too aggressive. We should express ourselves, but only if it fits within certain norms. And these contradictions create a lot of anxiety. You start feeling like you have to walk on eggshells just to avoid offending someone or stepping out of line, which is something that I do a lot. That's why people don't like me. The key to navigating these expectations is understanding that you're not responsible for meeting them. It's not your job. It should never be your job to do that. You have to learn how to read the room, sure. But you also have to stay grounded in who you are. That's very important. You have to learn when it's okay to adjust your behavior and when it's time to say, fuck it. This is who I am. Take it or leave it and let yourself just be. That's what you need to do. And that balance is tough, but it's fucking possible. The goal isn't to completely rebel against every social norm, but to stay authentic while navigating those norms. It's about knowing how to show up as yourself without feeling like you have to perform. So, how do you actually navigate these social expectations without losing yourself? Here are some practical steps that I've used and they've made a massive difference. First, learn to read the room. That's important. No matter where you are, learn to read the room. This doesn't mean you change who you are. No. But it does mean being aware of the energy and dynamic in any situation. Watch people's body language. Listen to their tone and gauge the vibe. Read the vibe. That's what I'm trying to tell you. This helps you understand the best way to express yourself while still being mindful of the environment. Second, set boundaries. Not every situation requires you to bend to fit in. No, it doesn't. If you find yourself in environments where the expectations feel suffocating, it's okay to draw a line. Don't be afraid to say, this isn't for me, and walk away. That's totally fine. Because here's the thing. Setting boundaries protects your energy and prevents you from getting lost in someone else's expectations. Third, practice self-reflection. After social interactions, take some time to reflect. Ask yourself, did I stay true to myself? Did I feel comfortable? Or was I pretending to be someone else? Those are good questions if you want to find good answers about how you're acting in certain situations. And this helps you become more aware of when you're slipping into people-pleasing behaviors, and it gives you the chance to course correct, which is also important. There's power in being authentic. Once you start showing up as yourself, everything changes. You start attracting the right people, the ones who appreciate you for who you are. You stop wasting energy on trying to meet everyone else's expectations, and that energy can be redirected into living the life you want. You're putting the energy into something that matters to you. When I finally started being myself, not only did my confidence grow, but my relationships deepened. I wasn't hiding behind a mask anymore, and that allowed me to connect with people on a real level. People could see who I was, and because of that, the right people gravitated towards me. And that's the key. Authenticity attracts authenticity. When you're real with people, they can sense it. They trust you more. They open up to you more. And your relationships become more meaningful. You stop feeling like you're playing a part and start living a life that actually feels like your own, which is extremely important, especially in today's day and age of social media. If you've been hiding behind a mask to fit in, it's time to take it off. Just remove that mask. Take it off, throw it in the trash. Because the right people will stick around, and the wrong ones will disappear. And trust me, that's precisely what you want in this situation. At the end of the day, navigating social expectations is about balance. Yes. There are times when you need to be mindful of the environment you're in, but that doesn't mean you have to lose yourself in the process. No, that's not what it means. You can still be authentic. You can still set boundaries. You can still thrive. My challenge to you is this. The next time you're in a social situation, check in with yourself. Ask yourself, am I being true to who I am, or am I trying to fit into someone else's box? If the answer is the latter, make the decision to show up as the real you. Because once you do that, you'll start to see how powerful it is to live authentically. And that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in to the Bad Influence podcast. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, be yourself, because the world needs more of the real you. And have a great day.